The games have not all been awesome, but by God, they have been done quick, Subi. And now we'll see if Oxygen can reverse course as quickly as they need to. And they do, Subi, because they're coming off a crushing defeat at the hands of NRG. Space Station's looked really good all weekend.
Space Station has looked dominant, and I think the pickup of Daniel has been nothing short of amazing for what they needed. I mean, this is just a breath of fresh air for them. And one thing going in Oxygen's favor is the amount of time that has gone between matches between these two teams. It's been almost a year since they've faced one another on the pitch. So Oxygen definitely have the play of surprise, the element of surprise in their favor.
All eyes, of course, on Daniel as he's taken off the field by Toasty. They had a demolition from Gimmick as well, but they still left one defender. That was good enough for Space Station Gaming, and Daniel has been brilliant. They talked a little bit about him on the desk. It's impossible not to. He scored 13 goals so far in this event. Looking for more. Of course, it's been hard to come by goals for either Daniel or Arsenal. Reddles leads the whole tournament, tied with Chicago at 20, averaging over one a game as Arsenal banks one in out of the corner here as the defense of Oxygen breaks down.
Yeah, and it's due to that aggressive game style that Space Station always brings. You see Reddles going into the corner, pushes LJ off that boost pad, forces him to jump to avoid the demo, and completely removed him from the field. So early start here for Space Station Gaming, up 1-0.
At the 11th goal for Arsenal this weekend. Could be many, many more to come. He's going to have this ball cleanly right at Toasty. Good block, and Gimmick will send that out to the corner. A team in Oxygen that had a great group stage and then have just run into a buzzsaw. And when you think about how good Oxygen looked in Group D on Friday, and you think they could be out of this tournament having played NRG and Space Station Gaming back-to-back, you just go, man, that's just bad luck.
I mean, it is, but you got to be able to bring it every single day, regardless of who's sitting across the pitch from you. And I get NRG, the monsters of North America, but right now, Space Station Gaming, it's a new roster. This is your opportunity to take them down, but with the offensive firepower that we've seen from Space Station and the mechanical prowess, it's just beautiful as Gimmick gets a backside demo, but nothing comes of it as that pass from LJ way too high, way too far for anything to come to fruition.
LJ will try to drop that off with Toasty coming around as well, but LJ takes over. Of course, LJ and Toasty, kind of a long-standing duo, at least one that's budding there, as this is their second season together. Now Toasty with LJ trailing in behind him. Daniel's going to collect. Gimmick is up the ladder for this. This will fall right to LJ. Got around Arsenal. Over Reddles as well, but then final boss, Daniel, leading the team in saves so far this weekend, made another there and stopped another Oxygen attack. Dead in its tracks. Now here comes Space Station again, and that's an important touch out of Toasty.
And for me, Stacks, I think one of the most impressive things about Daniel, I mean, we've seen what he brings on the field, offensively and defensively, but just the ability to live up to the hype that has been built around him and play, I mean, almost as if there's no nerves in his body. You forget that this kid just turned 15 years old as Toasty gets a dunk, but can't get the double tap on that, and Gimmick can't follow it up. But just the ability to play like he is just unfazed with the amount of pressure that has been put on his shoulders, but he can't catch up to that one as Gimmick screams that one inside the right post.
Well, Gimmick is a player that it's easy to overlook because when you think of, the marquee teams in North America, you don't think of Oxygen Esports just yet, but Gimmick has been a world-class striker for a while, ever since he broke into the scene with that Iris squad that eventually became Cloud9 and their legendary run to the World Championship in Season 6. Gimmick was no small part of that. And now a change of scenery for Gimmick, looking to prove that his best days are indeed not behind him. Toasty stuffed by Daniel here. Reynolds and Daniel going after the same ball at the same time. That creates a little problem, but then Arsenal will throw one on target and Toasty made the save.
Yeah, expect to see double commits from time to time, especially with a new player on the pitch. And, you know, we know Reynolds, Arsenal, definitely players that communicate amongst the best of them as Daniel gets over the entire defense to take the late game lead.
I mean, we see this time and time again, at least attempted, and I'm just watching this going, anybody gonna jump for this? Nobody could. And Daniel with another late goal. That's where his value has been for Spacestation so far. You go back to Friday and their very first game against Rogue. Offense was kind of stymied, and then 25 seconds left, Daniel scores a loud double from the wing. He's got another potential game winner here. Got to hold on for 30 seconds as that pops out to Toasty.
Oh,
Drop
nice.
down to Gimmick, and a great pass followed up by a better shot, and we're tied.
Oh, I love the shot placement on this one. You see LJ going through, makes Reynolds jump, and Gimmicks going down low far post. Reynolds can't half flip to get there. And just like that, Oxygen, not to be outdone, tie this game up.
Gimmick's got both so far. This will drop right down to Reynolds. Out of the corner, Gimmick couldn't set up LJ. Here comes Space Station again. We saw Oxygen oh so close to at least getting to an overtime with NRG at the tail end of that series in the upper bracket. Their hearts were broken right at the end. Arsenal about to do it again, and he whiffed on it. And we're gonna go to overtime.
Oh my goodness, you could see him winding up, putting the power behind it, but forgot to make contact with the ball. You hate to see it, but you love when overtimes come, as Oxygen and Space Station a lot closer than it seems like chat thought it was gonna be.
I'm just excited to see an overtime. I'm excited to see goals scored. Daniel will score here. A little interference above the crossbar, and Space Station walks away with a dub.
Oh, and Gimmick, I don't know if he got touched there by Reynolds or thought that the bump was going to come through, but tries to avoid it. And Daniel, ice water in his veins, unfazed by the pressure, takes game one for Space Station.
That's incredible. Daniel with another clutch goal for SSG. And if there has been any doubt as to what team kind of won the free agency period in the transfer window, I don't think there's going to be much question at the end of all of this. So far, Daniel looking awesome. Game one goes to SSG. Our Mobile One high performance replay showing the game winner there from Daniel. We thought he won it near the end of regulation. Gimmick with another clutch goal of his own. Daniel comes back and does him one better, of course, with the help of Reynolds there, as you mentioned, Subi. Now we go into game two, and for Oxygen now, all that momentum, all that negative energy from that sweep at the hands of NRG got to be starting to creep into their minds again, right? Like,
I don't know.
My goodness, how do we get a win here today?
I don't know. I feel like they are playing miles above what they played when they were playing against NRG. They look very good right now, and sure, they did just get beat, but they did send it into overtime. And don't forget, after Daniel scored that goal with only 45 seconds to go, it took them 20 seconds to get the game-tying goal. So offense is coming easier than it did against NRG.
Well, a pair of goals out of Daniel. Can Oxygen shut him down? And then if they do, can they stop Reynolds, who just made a save with the ball halfway across the line? Gimmick trying to get in Reynolds' way there. He can't, but Toasty will at least slow down Space Station a little bit. But not enough. Arsenal from way downtown. There had to have been a bump along the goal line. We'll see it again.
Look at Reynolds. You see him
of course.
downfield?
Oh, he clipped LJ.
Yep, just got a little piece of him, enough to slow him up. And Arsenal hit the perfect spot on that bar to roll it inside the net, and Space Station with the early advantage.
Well, the goals have all come from Arsenal and Daniel officially, but Reynolds has had his grubby little fingerprints all over every single one of them, and he's done it again.
An absolute nuisance. Nothing but annoying to play against in the best ways possible. Reynolds might not be getting goals, but he is opening up the goal mouth for his teammates. And Spacestation looking like they're having fun right now.
Reynolds has been one of the most physical players all weekend, averaging over 2 demos a game, only trailing behind, guess who? Calm, who only just dipped under 2.5. Arsenal almost got that through Toasty, and Oxygen now gets a chance to breathe here and reset and kind of assess what they need to do. They need to slow down Daniel. They do that time with LJ making the save, but they cannot get out of the zone.
Again.
Look how everybody is jumbled up right in front of the net. Reynolds got Toasty again, and now Toasty can play this over top of Daniel, and LJ can clear. But for how long will this stay on the orange half of the field?
Oh my goodness, Rattles is living rent-free in Oxygen's head right now. Just where is he? Constantly surveying the field to see when that bump's gonna come, when that demo's gonna come. And it is so exciting to watch. I love watching this new revitalized Spacestation Gaming. You can tell that Rattles, there's no handcuffs on him right now. He is just fully unleashed.
Gimmick has to come from all the way across the field to try and play that ball out. He only played it laterally, and Spacestation looking to punish them for it yet again. Reynolds, full control, up to the heavens, going for the bump on Toasty. He was trying to dive down on top of him. Did not quite get there. Here's Arsenal getting in LJ's way as he tries to clear, and yet again, Spacestation Gaming just cranked the pressure up. Almost trying to force Oxygen to tap out here. Reynolds got another one.
Oh my gosh.
I think he's going after Cobb's total. I mean, he's got a lot to go to catch up. He's got another on Toasty. That leaves LJ in an impossible spot. Gimmick taking his time getting back, and now Toasty finally clears. Gimmick waiting on the goal line, and Reynolds started to go after him as well. Now he can actually look for a shot, and this drops down harmlessly for Daniel to score. Spacestation Gaming are playing with their food right now.
Oh, it was an absolute circus act right there, and all due to those early demos from Reynolds, just constantly forcing Oxygen to move. And Stacks, the next time that we see Spacestation on offense, I want you to watch from a pulled back view so you can see everyone on Oxygen. They refuse to stay planted now. They will not sit on the goal line. They constantly have to move, and it's messing with their rotations big time.
It's something that when Reynolds kind of burst onto the scene in the rival series and into the RLCS with that Peep squad, it's something they prided themselves on. Make the defense uncomfortable. And they have definitely done that here with Spacestation Gaming, just abusing Oxygen. Daniel right down the middle. Reynolds will doink it downfield, and Gimmick will have the catch on the corner. And again, they try to clear the zone. Yet again, met by an aggressive forecheck. LJ does finally get across the center line. Brought back in by Daniel. Toasty now looking to spring Gimmick or LJ downfield, and that doesn't work. Here's the counterattack again from Daniel. That banks right in front, and Gimmick will hit Toasty. It's a great point-to-point passing play, but it does not get him across midfield for very long. Spacestation Gaming continues to apply all this pressure. I have not seen SSG look this good in a long time.
No, it's been a while. Pretty much since we saw them, change the meta essentially back. What was that? 2 seasons ago, 3 seasons ago, with all the demo-heavy offense, and goal might be coming, but great defense there from Reynolds to jump in front of that one. But I agree, Stack. Spacestation Gaming looking strong, and everyone getting involved in those bumps. And I mean, it's just showing on the scoreboard 3-0, but not only that, 10 shots on the board. They just constantly make Oxygen guess what's coming next.
I can tell you what's coming next as this ball does go through. Toasty will score with 14 seconds left. I would be shocked if there's not a timeout coming where they take just an extra minute or so and try and figure out how they're going to attack this SSG team the way they're playing right now, because what's happened over the first 9.5 minutes has not helped. 14 seconds to go here. Important kickoff to try and make it interesting here down the stretch. Gimmick needs to get out of the zone quickly. 5 seconds left. They're going to run out of time here, you have to imagine, barring a miracle, as that does not find its way into the net. And Spacestation Gaming takes game 2 It is a best of 7, but they're running out of time, our Oxygen.
Running out of oxygen, are they, Stacks? As Spacestation definitely coming out stronger in game 2 than game 1, and it seems like they figured out Oxygen's playstyle. And when you're Oxygen, it's very difficult to figure out how to play defense against Spacestation, as, like you said, Stacks, Oxygen is going to take that timeout in between games 2 and 3 to try and figure something out, because they need to get a game win right here, right now, so they don't go down 3-0 and forced into reverse sweep territory. But when you're watching the gameplay, Stacks, you see Oxygen. What do? You can't catch the ball on defense because you've constantly got Reddles, Arsenal, Daniel breathing down your throat, playing so aggressive, and you can't go with the booming clears because it doesn't set up any offense for you. So they're stuck between a rock and a hard place right now.
Yeah, at this point, they're just hoping, I don't know, for a power outage. Maybe make the sub Jasper get in somehow. Who knows? The way Oxygen's going right now, again, this could not have worked out any worse for them. Start the day with NRG, and maybe you think, okay, they run into a buzzsaw. At least they're going to be battle tested going into the next series with Space Station. And then how that series, or how the first game ends with Oxygen battling back, Daniel scoring a clutch goal, Oxygen battling back, Daniel scoring another clutch goal in overtime. You just go, all right, I don't know how to win here. They do still have time, though. Of course, you can see the look on Reddles and Arsenal's face. A lot of confidence there, knowing they are halfway to day 3. But they still have some work to do here. They can't let their guard down against Oxygen, which is actually a pretty experienced squad. We've talked about Gimmick. We know they've got a solid coach as well. So, you cannot take any games off in the RLCS. Space Station haven't yet. And we'll see if that continues here as the rest of this series will play itself out as soon as the players get back on the field.
Yeah, they've got 5 seconds left in this timeout, and then we'll be getting back to gameplay. But what I was really watching that whole entire timeout was what's going on with these teams. What are they talking about? And it looked like Oxygen wasn't talking at all. So I don't know if they're doing a lot of listening, but it didn't seem like a lot of communication was going on. And on the absolute inverse, when you look at Space Station Gaming, you saw Arsenal talking, you saw Reddles talking. I'm assuming Daniel was. He doesn't have a face cam just yet, but they were all talking about what's going on, and they're up 2-0. So looks a little worrisome for me, at least, when you look over at Oxygen.
Well, it's a brand new start here in game 3. Yes, they have an uphill battle to climb here, but start out 0-0. And at least they haven't given up the early goal as they had previously. They were down 2-0 very, very early on in that previous game. Reddles with a good win there, but nobody else is up. Daniel from the back line. Gonna set up Reddles, who just cuts at midfield. Why not? His shot just a little bit high. LJ could not jump for it. He's still hanging around on the goal line, and Arsenal is looking for him. Toasty takes out Reddles. That's at least got to be a little therapeutic. Can they get something going now? Oxygen has Toasty centering, but nobody else in front.
Oh, and Arsenal trying to play some mind games on LJ. Not going to happen as Toasty goes up. Toasty goes down, and Daniel with a beautiful save there, but Oxygen not looking done yet on offense, and as I say that, a clear comes out. But so far, definitely better than games 1 and 2 here, as the offense has been all Oxygen, and LJ finally gets one to go here in game number 3.
The first lead for Oxygen here. LJ just underneath Daniel, and Reddles even got to this. His defense has been spectacular, but that time the ball bounces off him and in. A break for Oxygen. Can they capitalize? LJ with a good follow on the kickoff, but then, of course, he gets demolished by Arsenal, who also has been incredibly physical. It's Arsenal downfield with Daniel tracking and Gimmick doing all he can to, again, try and slow down SSG. Reddles hanging with this play. Gimmick finally takes it away. And Oxygen playing with a lead. Can they extend it? They've got to play a lot of defense here as Gimmick has to rush back. This is not where Gimmick wants to be. He wants to be downfield, making a difference on the offensive end. Still can't spring his team there as Daniel jumps in front. Now Arsenal gonna try his luck against LJ. And then Reynolds thought about it, but now he's got to retreat and let Daniel take over.
And it just seems like Space Station has infinite boost right now. There's always someone there to challenge a ball. And doing a great job of controlling midfield as Toasty somehow gets a finger on that one to slow up the offense from SSG as Toasty and Arsenal trade blows. And both back on the field now. But Daniel trying to slow things down, trying to mind game LJ as Reynolds gets the individual play, gets the pass off the backboard, and Arsenal can't capitalize.
Oh my goodness, they're still gonna score this. Daniel got that in position for Arsenal. You thought, okay, after Arsenal couldn't dunk that through, maybe they could clear the zone, but Gimmick and LJ started going downfield, and Daniel just comes right back in, drops it for Arsenal, and we're all tied up again.
And did you notice what was going on there, Stacks?
Yeah.
Did you notice what Reynolds was doing?
Yep.
Being annoying yet again in the best way possible.
Reynolds being annoying? No, you got to be thinking of somebody else. It can't possibly be him.
Oh, you love to see it. And somehow they've yet to be punished on the super aggressive gameplay that they're coming out with. Right there, all three members in the blue box, essentially, and still scoring goals.
Space Station playing like this is going to make a lot of teams look bad. Here goes Reynolds. Not a lot in the tank. And now a chance for Gimmick. As LJ running downfield, who's looking for boost to steal. There isn't much. He did get one from underneath Reynolds, but then Reynolds grabs the midfield boost. And it's going to be Arsenal with Daniel trailing in behind him. And he won't challenge the play as LJ has a quick clear and another counterattack for Oxygen. And another attack that yields nothing, at least so far. Coming up on the final minute. Another close game for Oxygen here today. You know, we've had 8 shutouts in just today's action alone. None so far in this series, and Oxygen have only been shut out one of those games. But again, it's how they've lost all these close games. It just has to be taxing on a team, and you start wondering, when is something going to go wrong? Would it be here with 40 seconds left? It may be after Gimmick let that go. Reynolds has it waterfall down and LJ clears.
You know, Sax, you just start playing mind games with yourself when you start losing by one goal consistently. And it's just, you're right, mentally draining. And you start thinking, what else do we have to do? And that's when you start seeing teams force themselves into positions they shouldn't be in. As we're under 20 seconds, Daniel trying to get the 50 there, trying to get Gimmick as well. But looks like Oxygen going to have a last-ditch effort here as they get that ball stolen in midfield.
Gimmick for LJ for the win. No, Toasty. Follow-up floating in, and Reynolds makes the clear, and we'll go to another overtime. First one only went 18 seconds. Daniel ended it. What happens here is Daniel's quick onto this following the kickoff. Daniel down in front and could not force that by LJ.
And already, Space Station Gaming with control, and they got away with a big mistake on the back end there, as Reynolds couldn't quite get the power behind that shot and then got bumped off the ball. So huge break there for Oxygen.
Daniel threatened the flip reset, didn't take it, and LJ did an incredible job hanging with him. Now Reynolds, indirect for himself, trying to force this through Toasty, and Gimmick right there to squash the play. Daniel with the stop here, and now teams can maybe settle into some kind of normalcy as we near the end of the first minute of overtime. That's only the first minute of OT.
Yeah, but this one is feeling like all Space Station. I don't think Oxygen has had a single shot so far here in overtime. They have just been trying to keep the Wolves at bay as here comes LJ. Gets it around Arsenal, but a little too far inside as Daniel going to have a nice boom downfield as all of Oxygen pushed on that play.
Good ball by Gimmick to find LJ, who's got full boost from midfield, but beaten out by Reynolds. It's a little wide, and Gimmick will play that out to a waiting Daniel. It just seems like everywhere Oxygen tries to play this ball within their own half of the field, there is an orange car waiting. Daniel on target, and maybe a little high. Gimmick clears away, and this is right over to Daniel again, and Toasty had to cut the play out, had to be very alert, and was. And LJ can bank this out and let his teammates get boosted up and reset, and maybe prepare for yet another onslaught from Space Station.
So far, Oxygen has been doing a great job on defense, especially with their clears, placing the ball exactly where Space Station is. And as Toasty has enough time to get that boost, Reddles tries to bump him off, but Toasty in the perfect spot after that, stays with the play as Reddles just kind of touches that one. Not the greatest position, and Daniel gets a much needed touch, but still Space Station unable to get the clear here as Oxygen starting to push downfield. And as I say that, Daniel gets the bump on, I believe it was Gimmick.
Reddles playing stopper there. Everybody waiting for that corner boost to spawn. Daniel finally picked it up and then ate a demo for his efforts. Here comes Oxygen, needing this one just for their own psyche, but Gimmick's got to come back and play hero, and he can't. Arsenal's long bomb floats through, and Space Station are one win away.
Well, you start talking about headspace, stacks, and mentality, and I believe that's what led to this Oxygen loss. As we were speaking earlier in the game of, we keep losing by one, what do we have to do? And they try to get a little too aggressive. All three push up, and all it takes is one little poke downfield, and Arsenal wins it in OT. And Space Station Gaming sitting pretty right now as Oxygen going to be forced into reverse sweep territory if they're going to want to keep their tournament hopes alive.
And there are no timeouts left. Of course, you only get the one per best of 7. So Oxygen's got to figure it out now in between games as we look at the Mobile One high performance replay showing yet another overtime winner for SSG, their second in this series. That one, a tough one to swallow for Oxygen. Gimmick racing back, got a demolition, and that slowed him down just enough. It probably didn't really matter. Arsenal looked like he had that on lock anyways. And now Oxygen needs a full best of 7 reverse sweep to stay alive and reach Championship Sunday.
Nothing you can say other than best of luck. Warm wishes. We hope you can do it, because history definitely not on your side. As best of 7 reverse sweeps, hard to come by in the RLCS, is already Oxygen coming out aggressive, and I expect to see that all game long, but I definitely also expect to see the third man playing a little further back than we've seen all series long, as they just got punished and they don't want to allow it again.
A day like this has just been unheard of. Between best of 5s and best of 7s, everything so far has been a sweep. And we're not talking about... Hey, no. You have superstition, I call it stupid-stition. Something's got to give, right?
Well, I'm just stupid. I mean, that's the bottom
no
line.
Argument here. Gimmick trying to get one through, and Arsenal makes the save. It's just something... you don't see this at this level, even as wild as North America is. Eventually, somebody accidentally wins a game on their way to taking an L, right?
I mean, yeah, we've seen you win in Rocket League, so it's got to happen.
Not very often.
Man, I mean, right now, Oxygen playing as if their lives depend on it, and you can tell they don't want to give up any errant clears that go in the goal. They don't want to play too aggressive, but they don't want to play too passive. You're just in a tricky spot right now, but I think for what it's worth in this series, being down 3-0 in this, I think they're playing perfectly in Game 4, and they get their first goal, and you gotta say, what else can they do?
Well, they gotta hold this now for 3.5. I mean, they've got to expand on this 1-0 lead, but Gimmick has been a bright spot for Oxygen. He has certainly elevated this team. You saw how great he played in the group stage, how great the team looks now with this new look, adding Gimmick. He has been awesome. It hasn't been enough today. Reddles banks one out. LJ is right there, and he won't get to follow the play because Reddles takes him out. Add another to the demo tally for Reddles, as he has just been collecting souls all series long. LJ shot dismissed by Arsenal. Gimmick will try and put this on target, and Reddles pops away, looking to spring Daniel, and he stays with this, so might have had to Awkward read there on the side and still made that a threatening position.
And Arsenal came up the backside there for that demo, and Arsenal again breaking rotations, awkward rotations for Space Station, but somehow they make it work. They know what each other are doing, and again, I'm just so impressed with Daniel to be so plug and play with such a high caliber team as Space Station Gaming. And Stacks, I don't think we've ever seen a rookie with this type of not only the mechanics, but the game sense since Justin walked into the scene.
Oh, that's going way back. Just going to the out-of-style days in the Rivals series. Just Toasty. Ran out of boost. Ran out of possession. And maybe about to run out of a lead. Here's Reddles. Taking his time over Toasty, but not around Gimmick. Daniel to follow, to set up Arsenal. Oh. And he pushed it wide. Daniel's attempt blocked as well. They're not out of this just yet, as Daniel tries to force this around the corner, and Gimmick doing all he can to delay SSG enough, get his teammates back in position. Somebody's got to take charge, though. Daniel's got just a little high, and Oxygen are hanging on by a thread. With that clear from Toasty, though, finally they can breathe.
Yeah, but it was a golden thread. Stack somehow was able to maintain that tensile strength and refuse to allow Space Station back into this game. And as we near 1 minute to go, Oxygen just have to hold on, but don't get complacent and try and extend this lead, as Space Station doing everything in their power to get this ball out of the orange half, but it just seems like nothing's working.
Well, this ball skied up by Gimmick, and nobody followed it, and that may have thrown off SSG as LJ just walks this one right in.
Great shot placement here. Way to read the defense. Sees Daniel going up inside of the goal, realizes he can't get down in time, and extends the lead by 2. Exactly what they needed.
That's got to be the put-away shot for Game 4. But here comes Daniel. Here comes Space Station Gaming. That's going to be awkward, and Gimmick comes back to help out LJ. Reddles staying downfield. He's been very comfortable along the back line of the opponent's zone. And he's still up there on the ceiling. 30 seconds.
That's not good.
That is not good. And oh, what a cut there by Gimmick, though. That stopped Space Station from getting a real good look at the blue net. Down to 15 seconds. Oxygen closing in on survival at this point. Down 3 games.
Oh.
Under immense pressure. Oxygen responds on Utopia and will go to Game 5.
And let's not forget, this is all Stax' fault. We were on the way to history. We're pitching a no-hitter, and who brings it up? None other than Stax. So everyone out there,
you're all welcome. I know you did
Stax.
not want to see a sweep every single series today. Finally, somebody fights back.
Is I'm tied to this because I'm sitting here with you. But no, in all seriousness, you've got to tip your cap to Oxygen. They came out backs against the wall, but they did not play like it. They played like the more dominant team here in game number 4.
Yeah, they controlled Game 5, or Game 4 rather, and they'll look to control Game 5 as they have stayed alive to fight another game. It's a long, arduous journey ahead of them, but they've finished the first step, and now we go to Wasteland. Yes, there is a 5th map in our rotation. I promise you, you're about to see it, and we'll see if they can continue. Maybe on to Neo Tokyo. Yes, that map still exists. And then, call me crazy, but if Oxygen can keep it going, maybe, just maybe, we'll get to Champions Field. It's a long way off. They have to focus on Wasteland, on Game 5. Another must-win for OXG. But at least got the ball on the right half of the field to start things off against a Space Station team that might be cooling down just a little bit.
Yeah, first shutout in the series, and guess what? It wasn't Oxygen. It was Space Station, and if you had asked me that before the series started, I would have said no way, not a chance, especially after seeing how they're playing. But lo and behold, it happened, and Reddles looking to notch his first goal in the series, if you could believe that. They're up 3-0. Plenty of goals have been scored, but none belong to him as he's still looking.
He's still sitting on 20, tied with Chicago. Would have imagined he'd take the outright lead by now. Daniel will find his way out to Arsenal, who's got Reddles to his left flank. But now Reddles has to move over. Daniel in an awkward spot. Chance for LJ, and Daniel just recovers and does just enough. It's a good pass over to Gimmick, trying to stall out the SSG defense. Give him a different look. Didn't work this time. But now it's maybe in the back of their minds, like, all right, they're not just going to shoot, as LJ has that one taken away by Arsenal.
And LJ with a little refavor on Daniel there as Reynolds gets the flick, trying to go far post and in, but LJ denies as Arsenal going to maintain possession here for Space Station, and no one got that pass. Daniel not expecting that, but still, Space Station in the blue half here. Reynolds looking for a demo, gets it on that back line. Daniel, all he has to do is put it on target, but goes close post, and Toasty waiting for that save, able to push that one away.
Arsenal up the ladder, trying to get around for a second touch. He has it, but can't drop that down in time for Daniel, who's got to try and back pass to Reynolds. Does so, and we go inside 3 minutes. No score here. Now Arsenal against Toasty. He's got Reynolds waiting, and LJ had to guess whether Arsenal was going to try and score there or pass to Reynolds. He guessed right, and now LJ being rewarded, setting up Gimmick. No, that's still going to be high. A missed opportunity there for Oxygen. You know they're going to want that one back.
Absolutely, and that's been one of the biggest criticisms, I think, of Gimmick lately is the shooting accuracy, but this one looking a little more open and can't get it as Arsenal slowed down and read that shot extremely well, but still, Space Station sitting on the back line, very low boost for all three members, and as I say that, Daniel just got a full pad, but can't use it and used up half of it, and still, Space Station unable to get this ball out of the orange half. Oxygen knocking at the door, but so far, no entrance allowed.
By the way, that win for Oxygen just a moment ago, the 9th shutout of the day. We'd had so many early on today. 5 out of the first 6, in fact. Good to at least see a little bit of offense in this series between these two teams. Been a nice change of pace. It's good to see a 5th game and maybe a 6th if Oxygen can break through here. It is winning time now, down to the final 90 seconds. LJ, blocked by Arsenal. Now Toasty. Oh, Arsenal at least stopped him, slowed him down enough. And we'll see if Arsenal can get anything going for SSG. There's been a lot of disjointed offense so far between both these squads where SSG looked like a well-oiled machine early on. Reynolds has not imposed his will physically as he did in the first 2.5 games, and it's making a huge difference. Oxygen looking a lot more comfortable, even though they've still been under a lot of duress. That's awkward though from LJ. Almost own goal, getting the demo on Arsenal. And Oxygen survives that scare to move downfield in the final minute.
Lady luck on the side of Oxygen right now as Reynolds looking for the double tap. Gets it and puts it right into the corner and can't make contact with the ball. He had Arsenal waiting in the wings there as Arsenal gets another great touch. Reynolds puts that one on target, but turned away by Gimmick. Great defense from Oxygen to hold on. 30 seconds to go, and still we remain all knotted up.
Reynolds maybe will not be denied. He finally scores his 21st, maybe the last of the series.
Oh, and this is just a picture-perfect flick. Gets it on top of his hood. Dashes to the side with the little roll and under the crossbar. Defense made to look silly there. But Oxygen still have time left in the kickoff. Going in their favor.
LJ can't get to this ball. He left it, so Reynolds double burns a lot more time. A good 5 or 6 seconds extra coming off the clock. And now Oxygen has to go the length of the field. Down to 5 seconds. LJ indirect for Toasty. This drops down. Still time for Gimmick. Daniel will just make sure that touches down. And Space Station Gaming nips it at the bud there. No comeback from Oxygen, who get a tough luck exit out of the lower bracket.